What is up, guys? I am the English-born idiot, and today we are back with another episode of Yu-Gi Tuesdays. However, today's not going to be the regular Yu-Gi Tuesdays, where I would normally spin a wheel to see what deck I would play and then play 3 games of casual. Today we're going to actually talk about Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and why I won't upload it. Obviously, this isn't a question that hasn't been asked before, as no one really comments on my YouTube channel apart from my friend. But I will still be talking about it because I feel like I should mention it, because you're probably wondering, like, hey, you changed zombies up from COD Zombies to Left 4 Dead. Someone might wonder, would you be changing it up for from Master Duel to Duel Links? And I won't. And first of all, I'll have I'll try to make timestamps in the description so you guys can skip to certain parts if you want to look back on it or look back at certain parts specifically. So I'll just go into what is Duel. First, before we talk about Duel Links, stay tuned to the end of this video for a new reveal of what will be coming in the future. Stay tuned, folks. Links. Duel Links is a Konami-made Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that was made in 2016. Its premise of the game is where you follow characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime in a much simplified Yu-Gi-Oh! Version. You see the field over here in the gameplay I'm having. Cut off 2 of the last spell and trap and monster zones, and only have 1, 2, 3 monster spell and trap zones, plus graveyard deck, extra deck, and field spell zone and banishment zone. And you're only allowed to have 4 cards in your hand at the start of the duel, and if you're going second you draw 1. And you're only allowed to have 5 cards in your extra deck, pending something. You are allowed to unlock stuff later on. And you're only allowed to have like 30 max cards, 20 being minimum. 20 to 30, so it's actually half to everything nearly. So yeah, so that's basically what it is, and it started off very simplistic. It was only dual monsters that was in there, only basic dual monster cards that were in there, nothing too, like, basically as you see in the footage, as you'll be seeing in the footage, like combos and Ash Blossom and DD Crow things, you know, shit like that, where it's just like super competitive, super difficult to like get around, and it's like kind of like just like waiting for like a half an hour while your opponent does all of his effects and does all of his stuff and makes tons of combos. It's a lot more simplistic. So that's what it started off as. And then a year later, I think, when Dark Side of the Dimensions, the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie that came out worldwide, for the first year anniversary, I think they made it into the world. They make it into a new world, which I was cool. I was happy with. Actually, no, I think they made it. I think first it was GX. Then it was the Dark Side of the Dimensions. No, it was Dark Side of the Dimensions first. Yeah, it was Dark Side of the Dimensions first. Then GX. Then 5Ds. Then Zexal, obviously. Then it was Arc 5 that came out, then Vrains came out. And that will be the problem later. So yeah, they did the Yu-Gi anime, and they released all the summoning mechanisms that came with it, and I loved like the first few. I loved up to 5Ds, but I'll get into that later. So I'll go into what I liked. I liked the simplicity of it and the anime world with it, with the different characters, because you can unlock all the different characters from it. You start in the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Monsters world. You can start off by either choosing Kaiba or Yugi, and then duel across them to unlock more characters. You then unlock Joey, you unlock Taya, then you can just go on later and unlock other characters, like a whole bunch of things. You can later unlock Yugi, then later Mokuba, even by completing certain challenges and stuff like that. Then you get on to Dark Side of the Dimensions, which is more story focused, and you get cards like you start off with Kaiba regardless of who you chose in the DM era. Then you go around, you unlock again different characters, Mokuba, Yugi, Joey, all them different Dark Side of the Dimensions, alternate versions of them. Then later on, obviously GX, you start off with Jaden. You can get Chaz, Alexis, Zane, all the characters that came out, even Yubel, even characters like Yubel and Jaden, like even different types of characters. You can even get like Yugi Moto and Pharaoh Atem type thing, like Atem, Yugi, like the Yugi and Atem combination between those two people. and then just like Yugi mote himself, like little Yugi, I guess. Then 5Ds comes around, and it's you can get Jack, Alt Crew, Zexal, same thing, 5Ds, same, Zexal, same thing, RT. Yeah, you get the point. So you just do that, and you just go through the stages, go across them, unlock different characters, and yeah, I like that portion of it. I like the fact that you could unlock different anime characters, get their cards, and you know, by leveling it up there, and then just like have a cool thing. I thought it was very cool. So yeah, another thing I liked is at the start it was not super competitive. It wasn't like this at all, where you'd have like set decks that would be like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing. A lot of stuff like like even when I was playing like ranked, I would use a Gravekeeper deck, which isn't that like it's very non-competitive. I feel like it was in a very non-competitively built Gravekeeper deck, and even that was like, yo, shit, this ballin'. This ballin', I was like, damn, I really liked it, and it wasn't super. I got to like rank 3 gold, and it was like it seemed that bad, and I was like, yeah, this is a good deck. Even like decks that were like super unrefined were like decks that could really do some damage, and I was like, oh my god, this is really good, and yeah, I really liked that. And another thing I liked were the events. The events that they did were super original. They brought in different type of strategy you can do. You could bring in what could you brought in? You could have brought in. They brought in turbo duels. They brought in the rules of turbo dueling. They brought in tag dueling, from what I remember. They brought in so many cool different little things. And it was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. Oh my god, look at what they were able to accomplish, and it is such a cool thing that they're able to bring a lot of anime stuff into that. Even in the Dark Side of the Dimensions world, if you're dueling, I think certain people, I don't know if it's like all across like the entire thing, but you can actually do like the whole can't remember what it's called in the movie, but it's basically you can just summon anything without really tributing, unless it like says like Obelisk the Tormentor obviously needs like 3 cards to summon. But like let's say you want to summon Blue Eyes, boom, just summon Blue Eyes. I think it is just like specifically for in some of the against certain characters type thing, so it wasn't like if you're facing off against little Tracy, you couldn't just summon fucking 3 Blue Eyes off the bat. But that was so pretty cool. And I'm gonna say what I still like. Everything above that was mentioned, I still like, apart from the simplicity of it, because it hasn't really gotten simplistic anymore. It is basically more like you see on screen, and I'll go into that later. I still like how quick-paced most of the duels are, because again, you have half of everything. Apart from your hand, you have half nearly of what you have in the extra deck, half of your deck, half of your field, and you have only 4 cards to use. 4,000 life points. It's very easy. Like it does not take a long time to do. It's very nice. It is still very nice, and I still like that aspect about it. And that's pretty much everything that I still like. So I'll now go on to the dislikes of it. So my first dislike of it is how grindy it is. It is super bloody grindy. Even like everything I like about this thing falls into the aspect of that it's to get there it's super grindy. And I don't mean in like a good sense, it just takes so long. To get a character to have like a lot of good cards, you either have to buy them straight up with money. It feels very incentivized to actually purchase stuff with real money. And I understand that it's like it's a phone game, it's a mobile game, so that's kind of it, but it's like the game is like super generated around it. And like even later on, like a lot of the decks are just not good, like starting off, so you really have to like use packs, and you don't get a lot of stuff about packs. I'll get into that later on. But yeah, getting the characters is like a grind in its own, but it's a fair grind. I feel like it's a fair grind. Getting to unlock the characters is cool, but getting the characters to level up is the hardest part, because the best way to level them up is using vagrants, I think they're called, or variants, and they That's how you get extra XP from them, but you only get one free one. The rest, I think you either have to use money or gems to get that, and that is a pain in the ass because you have to use your. You have to decide whether you want to use gems on decks, items, or packs. So that's annoying. So yeah, it's just super grindy, and it really isn't like if your favorite character is a Shizu, for example, and you don't unlock her until later on. Unless you like use her specifically for competitive. Like, by the way, I grinded up with the Shizu with the Gravekeeper deck, and I tell you this, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Like, I grinded with her, and I only got up to level 17. Like, and that's like pretty much what I was like. That was my main time playing it. Like, super grindy, playing most of the things. Keeping up for most of the updates, playing nearly every day, like for multiple hours a day, that type of deal. I thought it was like, oh yeah. But then so I'll get into the other stuff I like. I don't like how complicated it's gotten with the addition of pendulums and Link. I feel like adding pendulums to the game was too much. It was too much. Duel Links was meant to be original, simple type of thing that you didn't have to. You just didn't need to. You just could have just sat down there for a bit, like 10, 15 minutes a day, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And without having to worry about, it being super competitive. It's a break from competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, by the way, for example, in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, I have a deck that is, I run a branded Shadal deck. That is, even though it's only that is my most competitive deck. Original thing, like, this is not really considered competitive, but this here was basically vanillas. And a few effect monsters, and maybe a few ritual cards. Like, the most you could do is, was just try to get out a nice ritual card, and then boom, just beat your opponent to death with that. That was the best strategy. Now you have cards like, you have Salamangreats, you have all the Salamangreat cards, I'm pretty sure. You have all the DDDs, you have all these Pendulum cards, all these cards that are like, super overpowered and broken. And they even added cards like MST, they added cards like Lightning Storm, cards that aren't that powerful in the TCG, but are super broken in this, because there's no cards to downplay that. So it's even worse now. So you need to buy these cards. You need to spend money on these cards, because remember, they're only one-ofs in packs that you have a rare chance of getting, which I will get onto now, because this is another thing I have a problem with, is how difficult it is to get the cards you want. And you just have to, like, really, really just... You're just not going to have a fun... Like, if you just stop playing after 5Ds because you felt like, it's good, but it's just like, I don't like the idea of Sync or something, or I don't like the idea of XC something, you're going to hate it. Like, this was made for a more casual... Like, the Duel Links was made for a more casual appearance, where if people, like, want to, like, really try and, like, grind it out, they didn't have to be, like, the most competitively inclined. They could have built a fun deck of most cards that they like. They could have built a very competitive Dark Magician deck without really using very competitive stuff. They could have built a Red Eyes deck. They could have built Red Eyes, I think, is pretty competitive because that is a good deck. They could have built a Blue Eyes deck. They could have built a very weak hero deck. Like, without using a lot of the elements that make elemental heroes very competitive. They could have done it with any other, like, thing. But now, with, like, the introduction of so many of these cards, it feels just too grindy. And I'm worried they're going to add cards like Access Code Talker, which I'm fine for Master Duel. It's fine in Master Duel, because this is, like, a lot of this is based on, like, real-life Yu-Gi-Oh! And there obviously is some issues in it as well with, like, it having a mixed ban list between the OCG and TCG, where it's kind of based on that, so I feel like it's a bit unfair to that. But yeah, it just doesn't. It's just too grindy, and it's just, especially now with Link monsters, I feel like it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. But I feel like that's not talked about a lot. How it's like how a lot of people think. I think it delved too far from its roots, and I don't feel like it should have gone into. It should have gone into Arc 5, and it definitely shouldn't have gone into Link Vrains. Even if it does continue the story of Playmaker, which I did really like. And my final point on how bad this is. And this is probably the most egregious thing about this game. The most egregious. Is that you have to put so much gems to get the cards you want. So I was trying to, one of the things I was trying to do in Duel Links was build a Battling Boxer deck for Joey Wheeler's character, because he likes fire monsters, fire warrior types. I feel like go very well with that, and I don't really want to build a Red Eyes deck because it feels too competitive. So I was building a Battling Boxer deck, which is, I think, I like Battling Boxers because of that. And then if I see anyone using a Battling Boxer Gravekeeper type deck in this game, I will be super happy. That makes me very happy. And if they win, it is calm. Like, I do not care for a second if people like that beat me, because it's, like, completely fair. And, like, it's just like, bro, come on. Like, that is a fun deck to use, and they won with that. There was no shenanigans and no Ash Blossom shenanigans. Like, even if they did have Ash Blossom, it's fair. It's a good deck. It's not a super, like, strong competitive deck. If they beat me with that, that's just a skill issue on my part. But yeah, in the game, I've been trying to, like, I've downloaded it like a few days ago, to see how bad, or like if it's changed, if my opinions on it have changed on it. I still have the same opinions on the thing. I haven't gotten one. To get a super rare, to get number, I can't remember what it was, I think it's number 79, Battling Boxer Nova Kaiser. That is a super rare. Only a fucking super rare. And I can't, for the life of me, get it. I know it's RNG based, but it just takes so long to get it. And again, when I was trying to rebuild my Gravekeeper deck, I can't. Because the good shit is an ultra rare, and it just takes so much time to get it. And now, some people might be saying, hey, Jamie, why don't you wait till the events are on, and then you could get a login bonus where you get a prismatic, secret rare, prismatic super rare card that allows you to just get it. But that's not fun. That's only for, well, it is fun, but it's only for like a certain amount of time. So if you don't play during that time, or if you don't like log in during that time, for whatever fucking reason that may be, school, exams, whatever, or like you're just busy, or like you do exam, but it's not, because you just need multiple of that, and you have other decks that you want to get, so you have to pick or choose between it. It's not a good way of looking at it. So I don't think that's a good thing. And basically, it's difficult. And the same thing was with my again, like I said, same thing was with my I already mentioned how it was the same thing with my Gravekeeper deck. But let's compare it to this game. Let's compare it to Master Duel for a second, where it is very much similar processes. You much easier earn gems. The speed of the duels is a bit slower, I'll admit, at times. It is a lot slower and a lot more competitively inclined. But the way to get the cards is a lot more easier. It is a lot more better done, and it is a lot fairer. You don't need to throw in hundreds of euros to get the best deck. You don't even need to throw in any money. I threw in no money to this game, and I was able to get a pretty decent Salamangreat deck. An okay Shadal deck, and I was able to even build a Rocket deck from scratch, just due to opening packs and stuff, getting ultra res and stuff. It's very easy to get the cards you want, and that's good. It rewards good players in a fair amount of way, and with the dual pass, which is very cheap to get, it is very easy to get the stuff you want. It is in no means unfair, and doesn't nearly feel like it's forcing you to pay money, or you're just going to have to grind your ass off to do it. And this is a game, by the way, you'd nearly expect it from this game, because it's completely free. It is free. They're not asking you to pay a cent for this game. Anything you do is, like, if you decide to put money into this game, that is your own decision. And you can put money into this game to make it easier for yourself, but you don't need to. That's what I like about this game. You do not need to, for a second, put more money in this game than you need to. However, with Duel, and this is a game that you'd expect to because it's a PC game. You'd expect them to be like, okay, this is some big game that they want to, like, no. But no. They made it fair, I feel like. And that's good. I like that. However, with Duel Links, it's a game that is designed to be played on your phone, designed to be played, you know, like, just chill. And I feel like they made it, they ruined that. I feel like they ruined that whole portion of it, and I didn't like it. I feel like they could have done better, but you know what, I'm not the game developers, and you know, a lot of people disagree with my opinion, and that's completely fine. But I still think that this game needs to be, I still think it can be changed. They just need to, like, make leveling up less grindy. They need to make pack luck better. I feel like if they made pack luck better, because you can go 10 packs. You can buy 10 packs for 500 gems, by the way, in a lot of cases. I know the one where you get all the Gravekeeper cards, they're only 250 per 10, but 500 per 10, and you don't even get a guarantee of anything, technically speaking. You're going to get an ultra rare or a super rare, most likely, but chances are you're actually not going to, which is very strange to me. And it is just like, damn, you can really just go and absolutely, because all the times I've opened 10 times cards in this thing, you're getting your money's worth. I always feel like I'm getting my money's worth, and I'm like, okay, damn, I'm getting my money's worth. I have always felt that. I don't remember a time where I had a bad experience opening like 10 ofs in this. Fair enough if I'm opening one pack, like even in like sets of 4, it's like, yeah. But if I decide to spend 1,000 gems, I feel like it's a good transaction. I'm not, but the second I spend 500 gems in this open 10 packs, I feel like I'm just like not really making money. I'm not making money. It's just the fact that I'm not really. I just feel like it's not fun, you know? It's just like, oh god, it's just, I'm not getting the shit I want. I spent all the stuff I've earned to build a deck that I want to build, and I can't, and there's no real other way I can get the cards. And it's super grindy, and it just feels like you need to pay money to make it really playable to this level, to even close to the level that Master Duel was on, which is, I'm going to leave that off here. Thank you so much for watching. Hold up, English-born idiot. Where's the announcement that you said you'd make at the end of this video? Now here it is. There's going, at the end of the competitive season for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I will be doing a secret deck. I will be using a secret deck that I have made up from cards that I've built up from just recently in the last few weeks that I built that I feel like would be fun. And I'm going to try to get from that to as high as I can in the end of this during every week of Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing. So yeah, I'm not going to say what it is until it comes out. But yeah, this is going to be a new thing. It's going to be a secret deck that's going to be kind of competitive. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. See ya, and bye-bye.